Namo Buddhaya. This is a special inner guide video that is dedicated to the little daughter who had asked a question from us. She had mentioned in her comment that she has a big problem with laziness, and also her exams are near, so she is in a big stress. And also, she said that she no longer finds a value in her life. I think most of us have these kind of questions. Okay, let's start with the first question. She had said that she has a big problem with laziness and sleepiness. I know that getting up early in the morning and sitting for studying and doing the studies is a little bit of a hard thing to do when you are a student, especially. First of all, let me introduce you to the inspiring words of the Supreme Buddha. Supreme Buddha said, Sukharani asadhuni attano ahitani cha. It is very easy to do evil things, the things that brings the unhappiness or the suffering or the regret to our life. Supreme Buddha said, Yangve hitangcha sadhungcha tangve paramadukkaram. If there is something that brings us the happiness to our life, if there is something that makes us proud about ourselves, doing such things is a really, really hard thing. So, getting up early in the morning and sitting for studies is a hard thing to do. Why? Because if you do that, it brings the happiness to your life. Right? Studying, educating yourself brings the happiness to your life. So, most of the people, they find hard to get up early in the morning. Now, we all like that fluffy and comfy and warm feeling that we feel on the bed in the morning. So, when you open your eyes in the morning, your mind says, just stay another 5 minutes. And that's the point that you are making the mistake. Your mind, you listen to your mind, you listen to what your mind says. When your mind says, just stay another 5 minutes more, it's okay, it's not a problem. That is where you make the mistake. And that 5 minutes will last long for another hour. And when you get up after an hour, your mind, the same mind that told you to stay on the bed for 5 minutes will complain you. You are not studying. It will say that you are going to fail the exams. That is how our mind lies us. That is how our mind tricks us. So when you get up in the morning, when you open your eyes in the morning, right? When your mind says to stay on the bed for another 5 more minutes, do not listen to that. Do not listen to that lie. Get up and refresh yourself and start studying early in the morning. There's a great quote that I remember all times even in my life, when I'm going through hard times. I remember this quote. It says, it is a wonderful quote. It says, if you do what is easy today, your life will be hard tomorrow. Let me repeat that again. If you do what is easy today, your life will be hard tomorrow. But if you do what is hard today, your life will be easy tomorrow. So getting up early in the morning is a hard thing. But if you do that hard thing, remember, your life will be easy. But if you stay on the bed for another 5 minutes, doing what is easy, your life will be hard tomorrow. So get up early in the morning. Do you know how long you're going to feel the hardship of getting up early in the morning? Do you know how many days that you are going to find very hard to get up in the morning? Only for 3 weeks. If you get up early in the morning and start studying in the morning for three weeks, remember, only for 3 weeks, it will make a habit to your life. And after that 3 weeks, you will never find it hard. It will become a habit. You don't want to think about it again and again. It will become a day-to-day practice. So do that, although you feel hard, for 3 weeks and see the result. That is the answer for first question. And let's go for the second question. She had mentioned that her exams are near, so she's stressed and she's unfocused. Her mind is clumsy. So what is the answer for this? Remember, now when the exams are near, it is the normal nature that we feel frustrated, distracted, unfocused, and clumsy. That is the normal nature, right? So I need you to do one thing. This is a special thing to do when the exams are near, right? Focus on one thing at a time to study, right? Focus on a single thing at a time to study. Study for 20 minutes, right? When you're studying, just forget all the other things that you have to study. Now, normally when we start to study, we think, when we find that there are so many things that we have to study in a short time. Now, the more you remember these things, the more your mind will regret. The more your mind will start to become clumsy. So I need you to do this thing. When you're studying, just forget about all the other things that you have to study. Just think, now I have to study only this thing. There's nothing that I have to study more. Just focus on that and study for maybe 20 minutes and take a break for 5 minutes. This is called the Pomodoro technique. I think it is well known. So study for 20 minutes, well focused, and give yourself a little bit of a break for 5 minutes and start studying again. And focus on the special points in your studies, right? And now, when the exams are near, if you haven't studied, right? So I know you're regretting in your mind. So, if you didn't make through the exam, I'm using the word if, right? If you did not make through your exams, I need you to do this thing. What is that? Never, ever give up studying. At some point in our life, we will lose our balance and we will fall down. We will go through hard situations, right? We will fall down in our life, but get back up and try again. You will fall for the first time. You will fall for the second time. You will fall for the fourth time, fifth time. Though you fall for the 1,000,000th time, what you have to do is get back up and try again. As humans, we should never give up in our studies and in our success. So, if you did not make through the exams, do not quit your studies. Do not quit your education. Right? Get back up and try again, and one day, you will find that you have been success. And let's go for the third question. She said that she no longer finds a value in her life. Remember, as humans, we are born to this world to add a value to our life. When we come to this world, we brought nothing. We had nothing. We knew nothing. But as humans, we have to add a value to this life. Right? Study well, start loving others, start loving your parents. And if you cannot study for yourself, right? If you cannot work for yourself, work for the people who loves you. There are so many people around you who loves you, who have dedicated their life on behalf of yourself, right? They are your parents. Try to bring a smile to your parents' face saying, Mom, Dad, I made it. One day you should do this. So if you did not give up, you will be success one day. But if you quit, if you give up your education, if you give up in your goals, it is very sure you will fail. Therefore, never give up. Work for yourself as well as work for the people who love you most. Right? Bring a smile to their face. Right? The only thing that you have to do in your position as a child, as a student, is to study only. You don't want to earn money. You don't want to look after the babies. There's nothing to do. Only thing that you have to do is to study. Do that, but never give up. That is what I have to share in this special video. So I wish that daughter and all of you have the same questions in your life. May you be well and happy. May you live long. May you live a happy life. And may all of your dreams come true. And may all of you realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Namo Buddhaya. First of all, we have to realize that living in the present moment, focusing your mind to the present moment, is not a simple thing. It is very hard, but also it is an achievable target. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, Atitang nanvagameya nappati kanke anagata. You should not chase after the past. And also, you should not make too much expectations about the future. Supreme Buddha said, Yadati tang pahinantang apattancha anagata. What is past is left behind. It is gone. It is over now. Apattancha anagata. The future is yet to come. It hasn't reached yet. Buddha said, Pachupannancha yo dhammang tattha tattha vipassati. What you have to do is live in the present moment and see the present moment as it is. Right? Realize the present moment as it is. So it is very hard to focus your mind to the present moment. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us the nature of the mind is it always runs to the past. Normally, our mind has a habit to wander in the past, memories, right? When we are alone, when we are solitude, and when we live in our life alone, lonely, normally it is the nature our mind runs to the past. It lives in the past memories, thinking about them. Sometimes you may regret about them. Sometimes you may be happy about them. Sometimes you may cry about them, right? So that is the nature of our mind. It is always wandering in the past. And also sometimes our mind try to make expectations, too much expectations about the future, right? People dream too much about their future, but they do not work for the dreams to come true. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you should not let your mind to wander in the past, as well as you should not let your mind to go for the future and make too much expectations about that. What you have to do is you have to work in the present moment to make your future better, as well as to make your past better. Because when you live correctly in the present moment, right, your past will be a good one because you have lived in the correct way. And also, if you are sure that you are living correctly in the right way in the present moment, your future will be also a good one because you are doing the right thing right now. So you need to have a good practice to focus your mind to the present moment. So it should be practiced by meditation, as well as it should be practiced in the practical world, in your life. So I will teach you some tricks or things that you should practice in your life to be in the present moment, right? So when you have a free time, right, dedicate yourself to live in the present moment for a little time. During the day, when you have the free time, allocate your time about 5 minutes to live in the present moment. Sit on a chair, you can close your eyes, and just experience that you are in your present. You are not in your past, you are not in your future. Always you are in your present. That is the reality, right? The past has gone, as well as the future hasn't come yet, right? So close your eyes and just try to focus your mind to the present moment. Try to think about what you feel, what you hear, and what you think about. All the things that you experience now will fade away to the past, and it will go into the arena of past, right? So take your time in the day and practice this. The best way to focus your mind to the present moment is the breathing meditation. Breathing meditation is one of the best meditations that you can bring your mind from the arena of past and the future to the present moment. Because the breath, when you're focusing on your breath, right, always the breath arises and it goes down. So this breath prevails in the present. So when you focus your mind to the breath, then your mind is always in the present moment. And also, you have to practice to live in the present moment in your practical life, in your day-to-day life. So how to do that? So it is very beneficial to live in the present when you are in the hard times, when you are going through a problem. Now suppose if a person comes to you and started blaming you. Now when he is blaming, you hear that sound, the words, right? When we think about these words, right? When he is blaming, you hear that, and after that very moment, it has gone to the arena of past. Those words are not prevailing anymore, right? But our mind does not like to think that. Our mind clings to those words, right? Our mind tries to hold on to those words, and what our mind does is it always make a loop-like thing to bring back all those thoughts, all those words again and again to our mind, and that is why we are suffering. That is why we feel hurt, right? If we can realize the reality that all these words that I heard has gone to the past, they are no longer here anymore, they are vanished, then you don't want to suffer for anything, right? Because it has gone to the past. You cannot do anything about that. But our mind is not ready for that, right? Our mind tries to cling to those words, right? So what you have to do, when someone blames you, when you are going through a hard time, realize that all those things are impermanent, and it vanishes very quickly from my life. So I don't want to worry about them, right? So if you are living in the present moment correctly, doing the correct thing, doing the right thing, doing good things, you don't want to worry about the past, as well as you don't want to worry about the future. Of course, you can make the plans for the future, no problem, but do not dream too much about it. Because the more we dream, it is like we are stopping our vehicle and just looking towards the road without driving, right? The more we dream, we feel jealous about the achievers that who achieve our goals, right? So it is like you are stopping your vehicle on the road and looking looking at the vehicles that pass by. You're not driving, right? You can make your plans, you can make your goals, but do not dream too much about it. Just start working for it, right? So the dream becomes a goal when you are working on it only. So if you can live in the present, doing the correct thing, doing what should be done now, you don't want to worry about the past as well as you don't want to worry about the future. So in that way, you will have a life without regret and without worrying about the future and the past, and live your life in the present moment and be happy by your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. In life, in some instances, we regret about the things that we have done in the past, right? We think that, oh, I shouldn't have done this thing, right? If I did not do this thing, my future and present will be much better than now. Like that, we regret about the things that we have done. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us a way or the facts that you should develop within your life to build up a life without the regrets. So this great advice was preached by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, in Alavaka Sutta. In that sutta, it says, to build up a life without the regret, you need to have 4 qualities. You need to have 4 qualities. Number 1, Supreme Buddha said, you need to live a life with truthfulness. That means you need to speak always the truth. Now, when we take this fact, normally people think in order to escape from the problems, in order to escape from the difficult situations that they find in their life, they need to lie to the people, right? If they say a lie, then they can escape from that. Of course, for that instance, they can escape from that problem. But remember, if you say a lie, if you tell a lie to someone, you will have to remember that lie forever. Because you need to protect that lie without being revealed, right? So sometimes you need to tell 10 more lies to protect that one lie. So after the truth has been revealed, because one day the truth wins always. So after the truth has been revealed, the people will regret about what they have done in the past. They will think, oh, I shouldn't have said this thing. In that time, I shouldn't live that like that. So Supreme Buddha taught us, you should live a truthful life in order to live a life without regrets. Number 1. Number 2, Supreme Buddha said, you should be wise. You should have the wisdom in your life. So what is the wisdom? You should be wise in taking decisions of your life. Remember, your life is so valuable. It has a great value. The decisions that you make in your life, the choices that you make in your life will determine your success in your life. Right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you need to be wise in making choices in your life. So every time when the thoughts pop up in our mind, we make a choice to act on them. Right? When evil thoughts pop up in your mind, evil thoughts like anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy, when these thoughts arise in our mind, we make the choice to act upon them. And also when the wholesome thoughts pop up in our mind, we make the choice to act on them or speak on them. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you need to make a good choice. When the good thoughts arise inside your mind, you need to make a choice. I should do this. I should do this action. This is a wholesome thing. This is a good thing to do. Right? When the evil thoughts pop up in your mind, what you have to think is, no, these thoughts are not good for my life. These are harmful for me as well as to the others. Right? So I should not do this thing. I should not speak like this. In that way, you need to make a good choice to always bring your life from evil to the wholesome. That is called the wisdom. The ability to find what is good and what is bad. Ability to distinguish what is good and what is bad. It is called the wisdom. And also Supreme Buddha describes the wisdom so much far away from that point. But in your life, you have to be wise in making decisions. You have to be wise when you choose your friends. You have to be wise when you're dealing with people. Right? If you live a wisdomful life, right? If you live a life full of wisdom, your life will never remain in regret. So that is the second one. Number 3, Supreme Buddha said, you need to be courageous. In order to achieve any successful goal in our lives, we need to work hard. We need to work hard without giving up. Each and every successful person in this world had the courage to achieve those successful goals. Right? Without hard work, without practicing, without the courage, you cannot achieve good goals in your life. Right? If you did not have the courage in the time that you should have courage, right? After you become old, after all those chances are blown away from your life, remember, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you have to earn money when you are young, or you have to live a wholesome life when you are young. When you become old, if you did not earn money, and as well as if you did not live a wholesome life, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, be courageous in your life. Right? Practice the courage. If you have the courage in you, if you have the dedication within your life, you can achieve the good goals in your life. That is number 3. Number 4, Supreme Buddha said, having all these qualities, you should be generous. So what is generosity? Generosity means ability to give the things in your life and share the things in your life with others. Right? Normally people, when they become more wealthy, right, when they become rich, they don't like to give the things to others. Remember, life is not living only for yourself. Life is also about how we dedicate our lives for others, how we help others. Right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you can be rich, earn money, no problem, but you should be generous. Don't be stingy. Be a helping hand to this world. Right? So if you practice the generosity within you, you can be happy with yourself. Because you feel that you have done something good in your life. You have helped someone in your life. Right? Helping people, the feeling that we get after helping a person, remember, That is one of the greatest and the sweetest memories in our life, happiest moments in our life. So help people, be generous. So if you have these 4 qualities in your life, what is that? Truthfulness, wisdom, courage, and generosity. If you have these 4 qualities within you, Supreme Buddha taught us, you will never have a life with regrets, and you can escape from the regrets in your life. So practice these 4 qualities and build up a life without the regrets. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Normally, haters are the people who are with negative mindset. They are the people who are with weak mindsets. So, first you have to remember that we cannot avoid each and every hater in our way. We cannot keep their mouth shut because they will always speak. So, what is the best reply for a hater? The best reply is silence. Say nothing, do nothing. Just work on your success. Focus on your goals and just work on that. That is the best reply. Never reply from the words, reply from the actions. So even our great teacher Supreme Buddha had haters. When he was preaching the Dhamma, when he was healing the hearts of the people with the Dhamma, there were people who talked trash about him, who tried to put him down. But Supreme Buddha never replied with anger. Supreme Buddha never replied with resentment. Supreme Buddha never went to argue with them because he knew the best reply for a hater is silence. And also Supreme Buddha advised us, when people talk rude words to you, when you hear harsh words, what you have to think is, I shall not affect my mind from anger, and I will not speak any evil words to them. Instead, I will make my spirituality a pure one. I will make my life a better one. Because if you are focused on your goals, if you are focused on your life, that is the best reply to the haters. Remember, therefore never be a hater, and also never be afraid of the haters. Because only negative people show their anger to others. Mentally strong people, people who practice the spirituality best, never show their anger to others. So remember, say nothing, do nothing, focus on your goals, just work on it and achieve the goals. And that is the best reply to them. So reply with silence, never reply with words. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai.